G'day, mate. I'm John. How you doing, Steve? You alright? Pretty good. Nice to meet you.
I've had a gutful. Right while we're sitting here. Some little kid's being touched up.
What do you think about that?
I don't think I should be doing that.
I don't think I should be doing that, do you? You want to go up a gear? Yeah. You're a natural, mate.
You think your mum's going to like these?
Oh, probably not, but who cares?
It's very depraved.
Like Troy's murder scene. That was quite a hard scene, and we filmed it over 2 days because of they planned to film it over 1 day, and we just started doing it, and it was just like, this is a scene that needs a lot more time spent on it, and it's one of those, it's the pivotal scene in the movie really, so it was important to get it just right and exactly how we pictured it, you could say. But getting to the emotions and keeping ourselves mentally sane, you could say, it was quite a task. We were great friends on set. We knew each other really well, so like at the end of every scene that you'd have to go to this place, you could always just click out of it. You could turn the tap off, and you could have a couple of hugs.
Absolutely. There was lots of debriefing, lots of conversation, lots of support. It was a very small crew, and as Lucas was saying, we got to know each other very well. That was the rehearsal period. Look, I honestly think that you know, there was so much humour in between the takes, and I don't think that was, I'm being insensitive when I say that, because compensating for the dark material that you're dealing with, it was almost something that just came naturally, like this humour. It wasn't about the subject, it was about each other. It pulled you straight out of that land or that world when the camera stopped rolling and Justin called cut. You're in this world of familiarity and family and friendship, and not to sound cliche, but it was like a family, and there's some bloody funny people we worked with, you know, that help you come out of that dark place and remember that you're Dan Henshall and Lucas PITTAWAY, and you know.
Well, basically, I was in the shops, and this lady, not a strange lady, a nice friendly lady, she comes up to my brother, and she just starts asking him like about living in the area, just interviewing him, and we were more than happy to talk to her, but we were a bit wary as well. And she just started talking to us, and she said, well, thanks for your time, and she got our phone number so that way she could get more information if she needed to. And then she called us up. She called me up the next day and said, we'd like you to audition for the film we're making about the area. And I didn't know anything about like Snowtown. I didn't know about the murders or anything like that either, and I didn't know about the movie Snowtown or what was going on. I just heard rumours, and yeah, so I went in for this audition, no lines or anything like that. Just basically, they said to me, "We're going to put you here with Dan, like sitting next to Daniel Henshall. Just whatever happens, remember it's all just kind of fake, but as well, just act how you feel you'd act, bring out some emotions if you need to." And one scene, we just had fun together. I drew a tattoo on his arm. Reminds me of this actually, 2 chairs.
Yeah, very similar to this scenario, sitting next to each other.
And yeah, I drew a tattoo on his arm, and then they had another scene where he got quite feisty with me and angry, and really pissed me off, right, pretty much. And yeah, you had to, as well in that situation, you had to understand it was just fake. But I guess they were just looking for how I'd react and what they could get me to what emotions they could bring out of me, and what I could show, and as well how I'd click with Jan. Yeah. And from there, they offered me the role. I was like, yep, sure, I'll do that. Cheers.
Initially, there was a lot. I did quite a lot of research. There's not a lot known about these guys. There's not a lot publicised. Most of what's publicised is interpretation or taken from the transcripts from the court case. And a lot of it's been suppressed. There is this one book that one of the film's based on. One of the books the film's based on, "Killing for Pleasure" by Debbie Marshall. The first 3 or 4 chapters deals with the possibilities, the events that may have happened in John's life, and the possibility of why he is the way he is. So he kind of used that as a backstory. But other than that, it was put away all the research and get to know the area. Being not from the area, assimilating, coming into the community and getting to know what it's like to live there, and the community in which we're indebted to gave so much to us, and it influenced the film so much in the way we portrayed that. I stayed out there for 2 months before I had that time to do it. I was involved in the casting process, so I was there for about 8 to 10 weeks before we started shooting in a little roadside motel. And like I said, just talking with people, once they realised what you were doing, it was, I'll tell you about my life. This is what it's like for me. I have some ownership on this. You're making a film about this area. I'll tell you everything. I mean, what do you want to know? This is what it's like. This is how I feel. This is what's happened. And from that, you get a huge picture of what it could be like to come into a community and manipulate that and seduce that and work that and massage that into your own way. So that was a big learning curve. And also, my rehearsal was more being a facilitator. We learnt what worked, what didn't work, and how to probably attack John Bunting a bit better, through the facilitating, through the casting, because I could play certain angles, and what didn't work was very, very obvious very quickly. Because you're not working they're all first-time people. Your response is immediate, it's real, it's not premeditated, there's not an actor's thought behind that. And I don't mean to sound patronising, but it's beautiful because it's so there. So if something doesn't work, you know about it. And it has to be as real as possible. So we learnt very quickly what worked and what didn't.